So as an iPad Pro first user, there's so many accessories out there today for the iPad Pro because of USB-C and Thunderbolt, and there's different hubs and cases and keyboards and mice and everything in between that sometimes it gets a little convoluted, and sometimes you want to just strip it down to the bare minimum to make sure that you can get from point A to point B and stuff that fits your workflow. So I wanted to curate kind of a nice minimalistic but ultra productive set of accessories for your iPad Pro and wanted to showcase those for you guys today so you guys get some idea as to what I use and maybe kind of fill in the gaps of what you currently have in your setup. So without further ado, this is my minimal but also productive and on the go iPad Pro setup. Let's get into it. So we'll save the actual iPad as the last item, but I wanted to start off with what the iPad is actually sitting on, what everything else is sitting on. So this is Orbitkey's Hybrid Work Duo. I've been a user of Orbitkey desk mats for, I want to say like 3 years now at this point, or at least 2 years, and they're ultra premium, but they also have normally a second functionality. So this Orbitkey Hybrid Work Duo, it's no different. It's basically an on-the-go kind of laptop sleeve, or iPad sleeve in this case, that you can kind of unfold and then set up on a desk or on a table or on a coffee shop or whatever the case may be, and then all of a sudden you have a nice desk mat that you can rest your mouse on, rest your actual laptop on or your iPad on, and I've just been a huge fan of this. It comes in 2 different colorways. I have the black version. It is made of a nice vegan leather, and then the inner lining is nice and soft to protect anything that's actually inside of the laptop sleeve itself or the iPad sleeve. So I'm using a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and it fits in perfectly with the 14-inch variant of this. And they do have 2 different sizes, one for the 14-inch MacBook Pro and then the other one for the 16-inch MacBook Pro. So depending on which laptop you have, it'll fit perfectly. That is the Hybrid Work Duo by Orbitkey. So you unfold it, you take out your iPad or your laptop, you place it down, you have a keyboard, maybe a mouse, whatever the case may be, and then all of a sudden you have a mobile workstation with an actual desk mat right then and there. So that is kind of what everything is sitting on, and it's absolutely amazing. I love this item. And now the next item is a more unique one that I've never seen before, and this is the Proto Arc Mouse. So the Proto Arc Hub mouse is exactly what it sounds like. First and foremost, it is a wireless mouse. It can connect up to 3 different devices at once, so you can use it for the iPad, your MacBook, and then, of course, even your iPhone, as we've shown in a previous video before. But it charges via USB-C. It has a 300 milliamp hour battery built into it, which will last you of up to 2 months of consecutive use and then 6 months on standby time. It has a nice form factor. It's very, very light. So if you're looking for something a little bit on the heftier side, this might not be for you. But for an on-the-go product, this is extremely light, very easy to use, easy to throw into a backpack and kind of forget about it, but then also be there for when you need it. It does have a nice and tactile scroll wheel and then an extra additional middle button for whatever shortcut you want to map that to. But the bread and butter of this product is the fact that it has a built-in USB-C hub that you can just pop out and then use with your iPad. And it serves a few purposes. So first off, it is a 3-in-1 USB-C hub. So it has a USB-C port that supports up to 60 watts of power delivery or power pass-through. It has a USB-A port, which is USB 3.0 speed, so you can transfer, I believe, up to 500 megabytes per second, which is more than enough for an external SSD. And then you also have an HDMI port, which supports up to 4K 30. But then the beauty of this is that it's also a connector for the mouse itself. So yes, you can connect the mouse via regular Bluetooth, but if you want to connect it and have less latency, which again, with the Bluetooth version, I do not have any latency whatsoever, especially because I'm not really gaming or anything like that. But if you want something a little bit more precise, that actual hub acts as a connector wirelessly for your laptop or for your iPad. So you can use this with any laptop that has USB-C, any iPad that has USB-C, and I just think this is a great item that kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So it's a USB-C hub. Again, it doesn't have all the different ports that you would want, but for something on the go that maybe you want to share in a meeting and connect to somebody's HDMI port, this is perfect because it solves the mouse problem and a nice dongle problem as well. Now the next item I have is for audio, and these are the new Bose QC Ultras. And these QC Ultras are Bose's new kind of top-of-the-line wireless headset when it comes to noise cancellation. They've always been amazing in their quiet comfort line, so they've been kind of the pioneer in that space. And with this variant, yes, obviously you have your noise cancellation and your awareness mode and all this good stuff, but then you also have this immersion mode. So Bose's new immersive audio is basically what they're bringing, so it's very similar to spatial audio where you can have a fixed position and move your head left and right and it moves with you, but then also you have a variable position where you can kind of move around where the concert stage kind of follows you as well. But sound quality is amazing, the app is awesome, so you're able to kind of give you your own EQ, set up your own custom versions of whatever you're listening to. So if you want to have your noise cancellation all the way to 100 and create a custom mode like that, so maybe whenever you're at a coffee shop so you don't hear anything, or maybe when you're in an airplane versus something that only has maybe half as much active noise cancellation because you need to be aware of your noises around you, or finally, full transparency or awareness mode, which allows you to hear everything extremely clearly. And I've been using these as my main headset. Now, I'm not a big over-ear headset guy because I used to think they were warm or they'd be too heavy. It kind of heats up your ears, but now these are extremely light. They fit your head perfectly at pretty much any size. And I was very surprised even with long listening, so maybe like 6 hours at a time on an airplane, you completely forget that they're there and it just becomes second nature to be wanting to wear them. So that again is by Bose. Huge fan of them. They're now my main headphone of choice. I do wish that Apple let them natively go into the Bluetooth settings similar to how you connect your AirPods Pro, but the Bose app itself also gives you all the functionality you would need to control those headphones. Now, I always like to bring a gaming controller with me just in case, because if I'm sitting in a coffee shop for hours on end and maybe you want to, disconnect for about 20-30 minutes, I can play something like NBA 2K. So I do have a wireless controller by a company called Moga. I've been using this one for years now. It even has a built-in battery that you can use to plug into your iPad if for some reason your iPad is running out of juice, or you want to hardwire it in as well. So it looks exactly and works exactly like an Xbox controller if you're used to that, but you can bring any other item or any other controller, whether it's a PS4, PS5, Xbox One, you name it. Now, pretty much Apple supports any wireless controller from any major console, as well as MFI controllers. So just something that I like to bring with me. And then for power, I have this new 30-watt pluggable brick, which is a single USB-C out. It gives you 30 watts of power, which for the iPad is more than enough because I think it only maxes out at support at 33 watts. And normal charging is about 20 watts. So having a small little brick like this is perfect to be able to charge all my devices. And again, since I have now an iPhone 15 Pro Max, I have my iPad and everything else charges via USB-C. I now only need one brick and one cable to charge all of my devices, which is a beautiful thing to have finally. And then last but not least, we have the iPad itself and everything that kind of goes with that. Obviously, I have it connected to a Magic Keyboard. There are rumors that a new Magic Keyboard is kind of on the horizon, which I cannot wait for, but for now, the Magic Keyboard is still my favorite accessory, my all-time favorite accessory for any Apple product or any tech product for that matter. Yes, it's expensive, but it completely transforms how you use your iPad. It goes from being just a tablet to a full-on computer, in my personal opinion, and in my workflow. So leave a comment down below if you guys think that's what it does for your iPad, if you use it that way, or if it's just kind of a very expensive or glorified stand for your iPad. But that is the Magic Keyboard, and my iPad, the one that I'm currently using, is the M1 12.9-inch iPad Pro. I'm waiting for the M3 iPad Pro to release. Hopefully they give us something a little bit more than just the hover feature this time. But again, to each their own. I didn't see a reason to upgrade to the M2. M1 is more than enough, and I'm able to use Stage Manager and extended monitor support. And the only feature that I'm really missing is that hover support. And then of course I have my Apple Pencil 2, which is another item that's been around and non-changed since 2018 that I hope Apple does something with eventually. I don't know what I would want out of a new Apple Pencil 2, but again, I want something maybe a little bit newer, but I also know that change for the sake of change is not always good, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it when it comes to the Apple II right now because it charges magnetically and wirelessly. It's easy to use. You never run out of battery because it's always connected to your iPad, so Apple Pencil 2 has been amazing. And then on the Apple Pencil 2, I do have a paper-like pencil grip, and then on the actual iPad itself, I also have a paper-like screen protector, which I always have on me. I've never used any of my iPads without one of those, but that is my on-the-go kind of travel productivity setup. I wanted to keep it to about 5 different items in total. And you can see that some of these items are multifunctional, right? The desk mat itself is not only a desk mat, but it's also a carrying sleeve for your iPad. The mouse has a built-in USB-C hub that you can disconnect and then use it on your actual iPad Pro or with any USB-C capable product. Then you have your controller, which is also kind of like a battery bank. The only item that I have that's kind of like a single-use item is my power brick by Pluggable, which again, 30 watts is more than enough. Let me know in the comment down below if you guys enjoy these items or if any of these items maybe fit your workflow. I'm always curious to know, but that is going to do it. If you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end. And if you guys want to watch more videos like this, click on one of these videos right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando. I'm out of here, everybody. Peace.